Hey, this is Dave Dolphin at practicalworshipblog.com, and today I want to give you a tour of our keys position here at the church. Now, our situation is probably pretty similar to many other people's situation in that our keys players aren't really have a lot of experience playing keys. They generally are piano players that have been asked to play keys. And so they're going to think like a piano player. They're not used to playing, keyboard parts, and they're certainly not used to all the technology that's involved here. So I try to create this position in a way that it makes sense for someone that has the experience of a piano player and not a keyboard player. So let me kind of walk you through the process as far as like how things get from A to Z. We start with two MIDI controllers. So I've got this up here. This is the M-Audio Oxygen 49 controller. And then also in here, this is a shell of a piano, not a real piano. But inside of it is the M-Audio 88 key semi-weighted keyboard. Neither one of these makes sound. When I press a button on here, it doesn't do anything but tell something. It just makes a command. Hey, someone pressed C5. And then it's up to something downstream to do something with that. So the sounds don't come out of the controllers. There's USB ports on this and that, and those cables both go into this laptop over here that's running the program, the Apple program MainStage. So all the sounds come out of this laptop, and then from here I have the flexibility to assign which sounds go to what controller. And I generally go with what visually makes sense. So if it's an organ sound, if it's a pad sound, if it's an 80s synth from like a Hillsong Young and Free type song, I'm generally going to put it up here. If it's a piano sound, like if we're doing Lord, I Need You or something like that, if it's a piano sound, I'm going to do it here because it visually makes sense. Now, sometimes I break that rule. Sometimes I put a piano sound up here. Sometimes I might have a set where every single song is a piano sound except for the last section that's a pad sound, and it would be visually distracting for the guy to get up from this position, come over here to play a pad sound just because pads only come from here. So maybe in the moment people aren't really conscious of the fact that there's a pad sound coming from a piano, and we can kind of get away with that. But at the end of the day, I have the flexibility to assign sounds to any of these controllers or to both of these controllers if I want to. I will generally go with what visually makes sense. Some of the behind the scenes, some of the gear that we keep tucked away, after the laptop we run into this audio interface, and so the audio for the live keys out of MainStage comes out here. We run stereo down to front of house. This position also has our Ableton rig that's running Ableton Live for our tracks, and so that's what this Mac Mini is here. And then from here we run a cable down to this Behringer unit that runs all the outs that we need for our tracks, and then all of that goes into the Snakehead that goes into front of house. Now at the heart of all this again is the program MainStage that Apple releases. You can download it from their App Store. And MainStage is insanely powerful and it's insanely cheap. I want to say it's around $30 or so. And it's basically Logic, their program Logic, without the ability to multi-track record. But all the things you can do in Logic in terms of their instruments and being able to do EQ, to do compression, to be able to do delay and reverbs and things like that, anything that's available in Logic is available in MainStage. And so what I do for each song, I save it as a patch and I name it by the name of the song. And so all the person has to do is press the down arrow or one of the buttons on the controller, and it goes to the next song. And they don't have to worry about if it's a piano sound or if it's an organ sound. They just pull up that title, that song title, and it gives them the sound. Now, this might repeat some sounds because I might have the same piano sound in My Beloved that I have in Lord, I Need You, but it also gives me the ability to do minor little tweaks. I might push the volume up just a little bit for Lord, I Need You versus maybe in the song My Beloved, which makes less work for the guy running front of house. And I save all those patches, and I have a whole library of songs that we do, and then I pull them up. I make a playlist over here, and then again, the person just has to click through from song to song to song, and that's the set. Now the final thing you'll notice if you are used to MainStage is that my screen is very bland. I don't have any of the knobs. In fact, all the knobs on the controllers are completely disabled. Again, the philosophy here is that we're trying to help piano players play keys, and they don't know what a lot of those knobs do. So I set those things in the sound. They don't have to mess with it and worry about it. They just pull up the sound, everything's ready to go, and they play. So that's a quick tour of our keys position here at church. If you have any questions about any of the gear that you've seen or how it's hooked up, interact with us in the comments and we'll answer your questions that way. Also, if this has been helpful, hit the like button below and that helps us here at YouTube. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you know when new videos hit here at YouTube. And for more great resources, check out practicalworshipblog.com.